Good morning. Welcome to CAD in the Human Environment. This is our Blackboard course site. We'll have announcements. There are two already. And you will also, if you go to Start Here, it will give you the syllabus for the course. There's not a textbook required, and the activities through the 15 weeks of this course. To find the assignments, you'll go to Course Content, and it's set up in weeks, 15 weeks. And if you click on Week 1, that is your first assignment, and it's the Introduction to Autocad. And it gives you the objectives, the assignments, how much the assignment is worth, and all the information that you need. In this particular week, we will need to download the documents under File to your desktop. You can make yourself a folder for the class and download the files that you need each week. Also, you'll need Autocad software. If you're not on campus, and we have Autocad available in the campus labs. If you're not on campus and you have a computer at home, you can download Autocad from Autodesk as long as you're in this class. You have to have an EDU account. You sign up for free. It's really easy. Once you log in, you will click on the Get Free Software button, and you want just the plain Autocad right here. And you'll download that. It takes depending on how old your laptop or your computer is, it takes a little bit to get it downloaded. So once it's downloaded, you'll have an icon on your desktop that looks like this. You want the Autocad 2017 in English. And then all you have to do is click on it, and you get this screen. So it will have recent files. If from now on you'll see recent files that you've worked on. So to get started, you're going to go up here to the red A icon and click the little tick mark beside it and click New. And it will come up with the templates. You should always use the ACAD template. And you'll hit Open. And this is what the screen looks like. It's a little intimidating at first, but once you get started, you'll become more comfortable with the software. First of all, it comes in with this grid. I don't know that seen anyone ever use the grid, so I always turn the grid off. Then you have your command line. Will probably be floating like this. If you grab it here and drag it down, it will attach itself like that. So it now becomes permanent. Then we want to go up to the top, and you will see a line with an arrow down button, and we will click Show Menu Bar. So it's a little easier sometimes to use the menu than to click around and when you're trying to figure out where is this item located in all the tabs. AutoCAD also looks much like Microsoft Word. It has the tabs, and you can click on each tab to find the icon that you want to use. Is also with AutoCAD, you can type. If you want to do a line, you can type a line, and it will come up with the command. Sometimes it's just a lot faster to type than it is to hunt for an icon. And most of all these commands have aliases, so you could use L for line instead of typing out the complete word of line. But we'll go on, we'll get into that much deeper later on. All right, so what we want to do is learn how to set up AutoCAD first. So if you go up to Format and click Units, you will see that this is a software that was created by engineers, and they use decimal a lot, so it will always open up in decimal. So what you want to do is change decimal to architectural, and the precision is 1/16. That's pretty good. You don't want to put the 0 because it won't show fractions. Maybe even 1/32 would be better. It needs to be set at inches. So I haven't figured out why AutoCAD opens up with decimal in inches, but that's something I have to ask somebody about sometime. All right, so that's the only thing that you will change in this dialog box. This is a dialog box, by the way, and just hit OK. So now we can draw in feet and inches. And AutoCAD will draw in inches. If I put in 1, so if I go up here to line and click on the screen and I put in 1, it will give me 1 inch. Okay. All right. So we have set up our units to draw in. And now we will set up our screen. Now, AutoCAD is different from drafting, where if you do hand drafting, you will draw in scale. Because you couldn't draw a 50-foot building on a sheet of paper. You'd have to draw it to scale. So maybe, ½ inch equals 1 foot. But in AutoCAD, you draw 50 feet. And so right now, AutoCAD is set up with a small sheet. So we want to change the sheet size by going to Format, Drawing Limits. And you'll notice that the first set of numbers, you have to look down here in the command line. The first set of numbers have zeros. That is correct, so we want to hit Enter. Now you'll notice that the sheet is 1 foot by 9 inches, so it's basically a letter size sheet. So if we were going to draw a building that was 50 foot wide by 50 foot deep, we would want to have a little space all around, so we would go 100 foot by 100 foot. So 100 foot, the foot mark is by the enter button, and then 100, comma, 100 foot. My line didn't get in there. So to get the 100 feet to jump to the next box, you have to put in the comma right here. So 100 foot, comma, it jumps to the next box here, 100 foot, then you hit Enter. Now, if you wanted to check to make sure you have this correct, all you have to do is hit Enter again. See, the first set of numbers are 0, hit Enter. And then my second set of numbers are 100 foot, comma, 100 foot. And that is correct. So I'll hit Enter. And then we have to tell AutoCAD to zoom out so that we can see all of the 100 feet sheet of paper we have. So Z for zoom, Enter, A for all, and that gives us our entire sheet. So now if I draw a 1 inch line, so put line 1, Enter, so I can barely see it. And you can zoom in and out as well with the button on your mouse. Okay, so that's how I'm getting the line to zoom in and out. Alright, so I'm going to erase this. Okay, so now we've set up our units and our drawing limits. Close this down for a minute. Okay. The key to good AutoCAD techniques is that you will draw in layers. So, for instance, plumbing will be on a layer, furniture will be on a different layer, walls would be on a wall layer, and so on and so forth, so that when you're drawing a set of construction documents, you can turn things off and on. The carpenters do not care about furniture. They just want to see walls and millwork and details like that. So you can turn your furniture layer off and print that set of documents for the carpenter. You can print plumbing documents for the plumber. So that's why we draw in layers. It's really, really important to draw in layers. So right now, if you go, look up here and it says layers. Right now we only have one layer. It automatically comes in with AutoCAD. You should always have a layer 0 and it should always be white. And I'll show you more about that here in a minute. So we have got a script file that will load layers into to your AutoCAD document so that you don't have to create. And I'll show you how to create separate layers. It gets kind of tedious, so that's why I've written a script layer. To get the layers loaded into your AutoCAD, you type in script, and you locate where you have saved that document. I have it loaded right here. So it says WKUID layer.scr. So I'm going to click my script layer and click open. And when I do, this thing will pop up. So I just hit escape on the keyboard. And you will notice if you go back up here and click where the layer 0 was, you now have all the layers that you would need to draw a building with. And since depth points was the last layer in the script file, it will automatically make depth points the current layer. We don't want to draw on depth points because anything you draw on that layer will not print. So if you had a secret note that you didn't want anybody to see, you could use the layer depth points and it wouldn't print in your set of documents. So we're going to make our current layer. Click here at the little tick mark, and we want layer 0 to be our current layer. That's how we do that. Now, if you wanted to add layers, if you click on the Layers Property button, you'll see it gives you all the layers. It kind of gives you a bigger list of what is available in the layer commands. If we wanted to add a new layer, let's say we needed a parking lot layer, we could click the button here with the yellow sun, and then we could type in A standing for architectural parking. And we could change the color. We'll pick a pretty color. And we could change the line weight. And it's, if you hand drafted, it's important that things have different line weights so that, you know, your text is not as important as the walls. So the walls will be a little thicker. So right now, let's just make that 9. Hit OK. And here we want the parking line type to be continuous. We want a continuous line, or we could have a dashed line. More about that later, but we'll just say continuous. And we have our new layer. So if we click here, it will pop up when you first open it like this, and you can right click and dock that dialog box. As I use layers a lot, I want that box over here so I can use it. But you also have the problem with if you get close to it, it pops out. But I just click over here and get it out of the way. And that's how you would create a layer. So see what I mean? It would be quite tedious to have to type in layers every time you opened up Autocad and started a new drawing. All right. Let's go over a little bit about the screen in Autocad. Again, like I said, it can be a little intimidating at first, but once you get used to it, you'll really love this program. Where the cursor is, here is your crosshairs. This is where you will click or click on things or do things with the cursor. Here in the corner where you see the Y and the X, that is called a UCS icon. It's sort of like in math with graphs and things. You have the x-axis and the y-axis. Where this gets really important is when you do 3D AutoCAD, you have 3 dimensions that you have to draw in: x-axis, y-axis, and z-axis. And again, that's the same thing here, your UCS icon here. At the top here, you'll have the Start tab and your Drawing tab. And it will tell you until you name your drawing, it will probably say Drawing 1. You have tabs and menus with different things. Annotate would be text, your views. I use home and insert and annotate, not so much these other things all the time, but mostly home and insert and annotate. Again, you have a quick access menu right here. You have the insert and view, which is a little easier to use than this. Down at the bottom, you'll always have model, layout 1, layout 2 until you change the name of layout 1 and layout 2. You can add additional layouts, and that's where people who do a set of construction documents will have a tab for each set. So you'd have your exterior on one tab, your floor plan on another, furniture plan, plumbing plans, that kind of thing. That makes up a set of construction documents. So model is where you draw in. Layout 1 and layout 2 is where you print from. So we'll go back to model. So model, we'll say model here, it should say model there. If you're on layout 1, it will say paper. Okay. This is your input dialog box. We'll more about that further on down the road. But that's your basics for your screen. So we have loaded our layers, and we've opened a drawing, loaded our layers, set up the drawing, and now to save a drawing, you go up to File, Save As, and you locate the folder. I'm going to put mine in the On Demand under Week 1. and we'll call this your last name, -1. You'll notice that it should say AutoCAD 2013 right here, and your name. You want to try to prevent having spaces, like, if you do a Word document, you could call it your files and your space file. You want to prevent having spaces, so you can use dashes or underlines there. And then all you have to do is click Save. And now notice that your tab here where it said Drawing 1 now says your last name -1. When you're finished, you can do File, Exit, and it will close out AutoCAD. And then you will go to Blackboard, click on week 1 here, and right here you'll click Browse My Computer, locate the file you saved. Probably won't have as many folders as I do. Week 1, there is my Fleener -1. I'll hit Open. You'll see where it says Fleener -1, the link title, and you will hit the Submit button. And that's where I will open up and grade your work, and you are finished. So this is week 1. It was pretty easy, hopefully, and we will see you on week 2. Thank you.